What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're visiting the Banquet Hall in Orcs Must Die Unchained with Brass. So this is a map that I've played in the past quite often, and it's been a while since I've actually been back here. So we're going to jump in and see how we're able to fare with our new Gunnery Dwarf, and hopefully she can fare pretty well here. You have the ability or potential to create a lot of very linear pathing here, and so I think her turret can actually get a lot of use, and her ranged ability should have the ability to take out some of the challenges that other characters would face here. So Brass is really heavy on damage, so making sure the enemies are grouped up via things like tar or viscous tar is going to be super important here. I'm going to take the viscous tar. We're going to use those grinders. Now, as far as other wall traps go, you actually have quite a few options here. I think we're going to focus on physical traps, and we're going to use the wall charger for damage here. Let's actually drop the grinder and grab floor spikes and a floor scorcher, and we'll see how this all fits together once we actually get in there. Now we're going to take wall building PhD, but we're actually going to grab high pain tolerance to make sure that we are not gonna get killed when trying to use Brass's wrench, and that's important. Now, Brass technically should have enough range to fire at the items on top of the ceiling, so we're going to take the usual kit for people that have energy and use things that don't get us killed. Now, Brass has no mobility, and she's generally not really fast, so if you want to take the teleport ring instead of the ring of last stand, that would be a good idea. Most of these other things don't really do much for her. The freedom trinket should work. The gnomish repair kit we use scrap, so be wary of that, and most of the other items just really aren't worth the scrap cost. But let's teleportation ring it. I don't think I should die too much. We'll see.
Big shotgun equals big fun.
All right, here we go. So first things first,
I can't guard my prisoners from here.
drop a guardian. Block this.
Perfectly. Maybe one over here.
And then prevent them from going through there.
The right setup,
Next we
the
can
most
block this
powerful.
area and
Another over here.
set them up to burn. Drop the turret right here.
This baby's got firepower.
And there we go. Yeah, we have no issues making sure that things are dying. Now, my ballista have short springs in them, so that's the reason the cost is super low. Other than that, we should basically be able to just go ahead and murder everything here without much issue. Probably gonna need to drop that and that. All right, not far enough to hit the third one, so there's pretty good range on these shots. They spread a ton though. It's not too bad. So I can actually do a lot of damage before they even manage to get grouped up, which is great. But you will want to make sure that you use her AoE attacks primarily against the small fast enemies. Alright, and then dispel this, resummon it, and then just run over to the other areas because you really don't have time to do much else. Like I said, she is not a particularly speedy character. Now to block off this area.
This'll be useful. They come right through here. Wait till
You'll
they
need
come
to do
through
that.
here.
And that'll force the enemies to path upwards to where we're defending the other area at. Now, you'll notice that I don't have enough coin to actually block this side off. That's because my combos were low, and because I didn't bring the discount for the floor scorcher. That little bit of gold makes a huge difference. I will be able to do it
Just a simple adjustment.
for the next wave, but I'll have to be quick because it's coming really soon. All right, that's done now. Now that that's upgraded, we really can do whatever we want. Just start preparing to use brass bombs on everything. Okay. All right. So now we can actually get over here and hopefully in time block off this side. We can put a little bit of room over there. If you go back here, like you can sort of step here, but as soon as you cross that line, things get sort of dangerous. Now the good thing is sometimes they blow themselves out really before they get to do anything too crazy, and you won't have to worry about that. The turret will sort of try to hold the line for you, which is excellent. It's something that other characters don't get the benefit of when playing solo. So make sure you take advantage of that. Don't leave it alone too long because it can get damaged. It'll die if it takes too much damage. But when it's at the end of a line, especially if it's within shot of supporting traps, it's not bad.
Another genius setup.
However, if there are no supporting traps, it's kind of just going to die. So be aware. You can even set it on top of a trap so that enemies that aggro it don't
This'll be useful.
get to do too much.
Cannonball coming. An unstable rift is opening. It must be destroyed.
Those home? That's the first time I've actually been able to see the animation for that.
Much rejoicing.
Oh, good job, Guardian. So when enemies group up for Brass, the main way that she has of dealing with them is basically just spamming mines. And I hope that that never gets nerfed in any way, because without it, she's going to have a ton of issues.
Another over here.
Now we want one of you. Alright, so now
Each trap to be placed perfectly. Bags a wallet, don't it?
I think we are about to have to deal with Orpheum. Yeah, we are, but not this wave. There's the explosives coming. Now, the issue with this is that we need to take them out before they happen to see the turret. This is something that's unique to Brass as well. You have to defend the turret if it's anywhere near your barricades because it will get exploded. Ooh. All right. Gonna go ahead and heal up, and now we should be ready to deal with Big Bad Orpheum. Now the way that I'm going to do with this is,
I'll put this right here.
let's see what that does. I'm curious.
The boss minion has entered the battlefield.
Alright, hopefully the bouncer bear doesn't run over it.
The boss minion has been taken down.
Wow.
Rift is opening. Quick, destroy it.
Alright, I kind of understand why they might think about nerfing the bomb's damage a bit. I mean, granted, that was like 100 scrap. Where's the bear going?
Destroy the unstable rift.
So, I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware, but I'm pretty sure the bouncer bear was supposed to have a behavior change to make him more likely to
They've destroyed our barricade.
defend enemies, and it's caused some bugs. Mainly, he will run towards the back of any line of enemies. When he gets there, he'll sort of just stay there and not do much else, if anything. And at the same time,
The right setup for the most combos. Exactly.
he will
Wait till they come through.
Our barricades are under attack.
after he gets there, he'll basically not do anything. He gets stuck on barricades very often now, and what you just saw there a few moments ago is he actually hit a barricade, stood on it, and every time he attempted to move, it just blew that barricade up. And so here's where
Destroyed our barricade.
you have very special issues with woo.
They've destroyed our barricade.
This is why Brass has very specific issues with explosive archers. Granted, I have a ton of cash that I can use, but because of the fact that archers heavily outrange the turret,
This will be useful.
the turret has no way to actually deal with them when other enemies are around.
The right setup for the most combos. Another over here.
Of course, that could have been alleviated by a couple more of these.
An unstable rift is opening. Destroy it.
Now, because most of the damage that I needed is sort of contributed by the ground traps, I can leave those alone.
Well done. The
I
unstable
did not
rift
get to
is
see
destroyed.
what that mercenary was, though. I'm guessing it is the bouncer bear, because it's, yep.
Our barricades are under attack.
And you can see him stuttering in the back there,
Destroyed our barricades.
which I have to say I don't think is intended behavior at all. And probably it just serves to frustrate players, because when an enemy is predictable, you can decide how to engage it. You can think about what you want to do. When they just perform erratic movements and can potentially destroy a lot of planning that you have set up, it's just so weird. Yep. No, thank you. I have no idea. Oh, those, they aggroed. Okay. I'm like, why are those Bobo pups? But yeah, Brass is pretty good for just running through heavy enemies, especially if you're playing solo.
This will tighten the gears up.
And I think that's something that's very unique as far as ranged heroes in the game goes right now. There's nobody except for Max ever had any sort of significant advantages against heavy enemies, and that was only because of his In Your Face's ability. Now that you have someone else, there's competition for like that sort of big guy single target, you know, sniper role in a team. However, she still plays somewhat differently. She has to be a bit closer than Max to maintain her best damage output, but that turret offers additional team support in the same way that he does, with the ability to restore health and mana. And if you think about that, the turret ability works almost the same as, or I should say it's in the same spirit as Max's, I can't remember the exact name of the Weaver right now, but Max is a Weaver that basically shares his damage reflection with everyone, and that it's not something that Max needs at all, because of course he reflects damage on himself, and that Weaver literally gives him 0 bonus. But during the time where you're playing with other people, it makes a significant difference. Alright. She is kind of hard to hit with the explosive arrows, so if you're set up properly, I guess it's really not that big a deal. Okay. Yeah, this is just silly. Like, this entire wave here is nothing but kobolds. Like, literally, there's nothing for you to do but watch kobolds die. And it's so long that it just has to end. Alright, got all the ballista out that I can build.
A boss is on its way.
Give a critter or two.
Our barricades are under attack. They've destroyed our barricades.
Don't really care about barricades being destroyed at this point. This is the end, so might as well get some Super Saiyan brass going while we can. I'm gonna be very sad when this is gone. Oh, really? There we go.
It's good to get another W.
So other than her movement abilities, Brass really doesn't have any issues handling the banquet hall, especially with that trap loadout. The main thing that I had to be careful of is just the unstable rifts, and if I were to spare some coin on the ceiling ballista that I built at the end there, which really weren't doing that much. I mean, if I was an endless, it would have helped with some of the heavier enemies or the higher HP pools later on. I could have just placed big game hunting ballista at the spawn points for the unstable rifts, and except for I think one place, it would have auto murdered them for me, so that's good. But that is going to be it for the banquet hall, and from there we get to take a look at the confluence later on. Either way, let me know if this has been beneficial to you guys. I know a lot of players that have just got into the game have generally liked these sort of vids, but I'm still trying to put out things that some of the more long-term fan base would find useful. Though I do know that there's a significant lack of like beginner guides. So the informative video that I want to do this week is probably going to be geared towards that. I'm probably just going to put it out a little bit later during the weekdays instead of Wednesday, or Wednesday would have been past by the time this video even goes live. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any comments or things that you'd like to see in the comments beneath it. That's always great. If you did enjoy it, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and you know, we always do some interesting stuff on the weekends. I like to do some non-orc stuff, and a lot of that is starting to come in now. So I'm putting up polls to say, you know, sort of what games people want to see on the weekends, and if we find a groove, then we'll stick with something for a while. If not, you guys can just vote, and then we'll play what we have. Either way, thanks for tuning in. I sincerely appreciate it. I love chatting with you guys, and I'm glad that you're here for the vids in the first place. I never expected that to happen when I first started doing this, but you know, kudos to you guys for showing up. And until next time, as always, have a good one, folks.